Good morning and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara. As we begin this new day, the Middle East remains a region of intense focus and concern, with ongoing developments that have significant implications for global stability. Today, we're going to delve into two major stories that highlight the complexities and challenges faced by nations in this critical part of the world. Firstly, Israeli airstrikes continue on South Lebanon amid tensions between Israel and Hezbollah. The situation is particularly sensitive, given the recent history of conflict in the area and the ongoing efforts to maintain a fragile ceasefire. Lebanese officials have insisted that they are strictly observing the ceasefire, while Israel claims that Hezbollah is attempting to rebuild itself along its borders. This standoff has led to periodic outbreaks of violence, with each side accusing the other of violating the terms of their agreement. It's also worth noting that these tensions are set against a broader backdrop of regional power dynamics. The 2023 attack by Hamas on Israel marked a significant shift in the balance of power in the Middle East, leading to a series of conflicts that have had far-reaching consequences. The impact of this event has been profound, not only for the humanitarian situation in Gaza, but also for the geopolitical landscape of the region. As we explore these complex issues, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and strive for a nuanced understanding. The involvement of various international actors, including the United States, adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. With talks between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. President Donald Trump expected to include discussions on an expanded offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon, the potential for further escalation is clear. In our pursuit of balanced reporting, we must acknowledge the deep-seated concerns and fears of all parties involved. The humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza, coupled with the broader strategic realignments in the region, paints a picture of a Middle East in flux. As these events continue to unfold, one thing is certain: the need for informed, thoughtful analysis has never been more pressing. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into a complex and intriguing story that's making waves in international relations. The situation between China and Japan has been escalating, with tensions running high over Taiwan and the disputed Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea. Recently, Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi made a statement that sparked outrage from Beijing, saying that Japan would consider military intervention if China were to invade Taiwan. This move has been seen as a bold stance by Takaichi, who is standing firm in the face of Chinese pressure. China has responded with criticism, accusing Japan of violating previous bilateral agreements on the One China principle and risking a plunge into war. State-run media has published editorials condemning Japan's actions, calling for Tokyo to reflect on its history of aggression and offer a sincere apology. Despite the backlash, Takaichi's support rate remains strong at 68% in a recent survey, with many Japanese citizens backing her position on China. Experts believe that China's aggressive behavior, including repeated visits to the disputed Senkaku Islands and joint military exercises with Russia, has contributed to Takaichi's resolve. However, there are concerns that Beijing may step up economic pressure on Japan, potentially impacting trade and tourism between the two nations. So far, Chinese travel firms have been instructed not to book trips to Japan, but experts note that China has not taken more drastic measures, such as halting exports of critical rare earth minerals. As the situation continues to unfold, it's clear that both sides are engaged in a delicate balancing act. While China seeks to assert its influence in the region, Japan is determined to protect its interests and maintain its sovereignty. The international community will be watching closely to see how this high-stakes game plays out. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's program, I'd like to shift our attention to a significant development in the world of diplomacy. The Trump administration has recalled nearly 30 career ambassadors from their posts around the globe, citing the need to ensure that U.S. missions abroad reflect its America First priorities. This move has been met with criticism from Democratic senators who argue that it leaves a dangerous leadership vacuum and allows adversaries like Russia and China to expand their reach. The senators point out that this abrupt mass recall is unprecedented, with no other administration having taken such action since Congress established the modern Foreign Service a century ago. The removals bring the number of empty U.S. ambassadorial posts to well over 100, about half of all such posts worldwide. This raises concerns about the ability of the United States to effectively engage with foreign leaders and promote its interests abroad. As I delve into this story, I'm reminded of the importance of diplomacy in shaping international relations. The role of ambassadors is not just symbolic. They play a crucial part in fostering dialogue, building trust, and advancing U.S. interests. The Democratic senators who penned a letter to President Trump urging him to reverse this decision argue that the recall of these career diplomats will harm U.S. credibility and create opportunities for other nations to fill the void. They emphasize that these ambassadors have demonstrated their commitment to faithfully executing the policies of administrations from both parties, often serving in their overseas posts for 3 to 4 years, regardless of a change in government. It's worth noting that this move is part of a broader trend under the Trump administration, which has been marked by a skepticism towards the bureaucracy and a desire to clean out the deep state. The administration has previously taken steps to revamp the U.S. Foreign Service, including the firing of over 1,300 State Department diplomats and civil servants earlier this year. As we consider the implications of this decision, it's essential to weigh the potential consequences for U.S. foreign policy and global relations. Will this move ultimately strengthen or weaken the United States' position on the world stage? That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.